Welcome to the Bottle Poppin' Podcast, where Meg and Heather share their love for oils, friendship, and entrepreneurship. Let's get it poppin'.
Hey everyone, this is Meg.
Hi there, this is Heather.
And we are the Bottle Poppin' Podcast. So Heather, before we pop open a bottle to talk about, I have a question for you. What is your favorite book?
Okay, so you and I both read a lot. I'll be interested to see if you can do one. I'm going to give you... Okay. I'm going to give you two. So my nonfiction book is The Elephant Whisperer by Lawrence Anthony. This book was so good. I have recommended it to a lot of people. I laughed. I cried. It is heartwarming. It is about a man who owns a reserve in Africa, and they have these wild elephants that need to go somewhere because they're unruly. And he says that he will take them on and basically develops a relationship with them. It is based on his true experiences, and it is wonderful. My fiction book is a sci-fi, which I probably don't read very many of because I have a hard time with my brain kind of attaching to too many unrealistic things, if you can see my unrealistic in quotation marks. But this is called Project Hail Mary, and it's by Andy Weir. It was so good. I absolutely loved it, and it is one that I will read again and again, and I have told people about as well.
That's awesome. I don't even know that I can narrow it down to two books because, like Heather said, we both read a whole bunch, and I always have like probably three books going at once. But right off the bat, the books that come to mind are kind of books that changed me in some way. So Jodi Picoult books, I absolutely love from a fiction standpoint. Just about anything she's ever written has made me think and made me view things differently. But the very first book that I read by her was My Sister's Keeper, which is also a movie. I don't recommend the movie necessarily, but the book, especially if you have siblings, will make you rethink things. So anything she's written is awesome. It makes you think. But yeah, that one specifically. And then from a nonfiction standpoint, again, there's been so many books that have changed my life. But I would say it's funny because I recently went back and read this, and for me now, maybe not so much, but for me, first getting into entrepreneurship and into personal development, Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis for sure changed my life. And I would recommend that book for anybody who's ever like wanted to dip their toe into personal development. And then also in personal development business standpoint, the 12-week year, I think I've recommended it here on this podcast, but that book has helped me so much in just chasing after goals in 12-week segments. So those are the books that I think of right away, but we could literally have an entire, not just podcast episode, but podcast just on books, I think. And that would be kind of fun. In our free time, we should do that.
The funny thing about books is they're so personalized, right? I mean, There's obviously so many books available. I am a library user. I like going to the library and picking books based on their covers and, the colors and the way they've picked their fonts. I feel like that's what initially draws me to a book. And then I get to thumb through and see if it's one I like. I have borrowed many books from the library that I start reading and I just can't. And so I close the book and get another one. But there is definitely something for everybody. And I enjoy reading. And luckily my family does too.
Yeah. Yep. Same. So to bring it around to essential oils, though, what's your favorite essential oil book or reference book?
Okay, so we'll go reference book. That feels easiest.
Yeah.
I would say that I probably use the Modern Essentials the most. I have the Essential Emotions book open in front of me, but I would say my actual reference book of choice is probably Modern Essentials. What about you?
So mine just recently changed, and only because it's my newest, and so it's got the most updated information. But right now I'm loving the Essential Life book. But Modern Essentials I loved for a long time. I really liked what's the Oil Magic. That was my favorite prior to getting the latest version of the Essential Life. So there's so many good reference books out there. And then as far as Essential Emotions, I like the book, but I love the app, and I use the app almost weekly. Like, it's definitely something I reach for a lot. So yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with essential oil reference books. Okay, so to the main topic of today, what are we popping open?
We are popping open an oil from the kids line. This is Tamer, which is the digestive blend.
It smells super spearminty.
And that is the first ingredient. You got that right. This one's interesting. Most of the kids line have 4 essential oils combined with fractionated coconut oil. This one actually has 5. So this is spearmint, Japanese peppermint, ginger, black pepper, and parsley seed.
The black pepper surprises me because I literally, it smells so good that I just rolled it on under my nose. And I'm surprised with the black pepper that it's not a hot oil. Like there's no heating, but maybe because it's got the mint in there as well, it balances it out because it's not super cooling either.
I smell absolutely nothing other than the spearmint. I feel like it smells like spearmint blended, but I do not smell ginger. I do not smell black pepper. Maybe it's the parsley seed that's calming down the spearmint and the Japanese peppermint. It's lovely. I absolutely love the smell of this one.
Same. And I should point out too that parsley is not an oil that doTERRA sells on its own.
Correct.
So it's interesting that's in this blend. So I don't even know necessarily what parsley smells like.
Or if it's an essential oil specifically. I guess it could be something.
Essence of.
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't specify. My kids, even though they do not like mint oils, will definitely choose this over Digestin when their stomach is upset, because I feel like it doesn't have significant cooling effect like what you also mentioned, but yet they also know that it works very quickly.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this. I definitely use this over Digestin as well, just because I don't like the smell of Digestin. It's effective. It works really well, but I do not like black licorice, and that's what it smells like to me.
Yeah, same. So tummy troubles is probably the number one use in our house. However, I have had many friends that when we start talking about what their needs are for car sick or motion sickness, we end up kind of moving towards this oil, and they have great success with it. So I know many people that have this one with them in the car all the time because their child struggles with motion sickness. And so they will apply this to bottoms of the feet. If the kid's capable of applying themselves to their tummy, they will. And they say that this helps a lot.
That's awesome. How cool to have something just right there, natural, smells good too.
Yes.
You know.
And that they could use independently. So like the people that I know that have had such great success with it, her child is maybe 4.5 or so, and she just keeps it in like his little seat holder. They apply it before they get into the car, but then if he starts kind of feeling bad mid-car ride, he can just reapply it himself, which is super cool too.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so cool that you're training your kid to reach for natural things at that young age. Like that's going to stick with them and serve him well as our lives are filled with all kinds of toxic things. To have a kid at a young age already know to reach for something natural. Amazing.
Agreed. Well, and we were talking about the Essential Emotions book and app earlier. This is interesting in there because, again, I feel like I only reach for this for stomach stuff, but this is actually the oil of integration. And what they say in here, I thought was super interesting, especially when it comes to kind of managing the toxic part, like what you were just saying. So it says, Tamer offers reprieve when individuals have been absorbing the emotions of others and are unsure of their personal responsibility and managing their own feelings versus the feelings of those around them. I immediately think of empaths who are constantly absorbing other people's feelings, and how this is a great oil for them to have on hand so that they can hopefully manage that a little bit better and not have to take on everybody else's feelings too.
Yes. So good. In the book that I have open right here, it also, like, for the most part, it's talking about using it for tummy issues and that type of thing. But I did think it was interesting. It says it also works great for acne or skin blemishes, and just roll it on those spots, which would probably be really refreshing if it was, especially inflamed or hurting, but not something I would have thought to use this oil for.
And because of those mint oils, don't get it near your eyes. Don't get it near your eyes.
Good advice. All right. Well, anything else on Tamer?
No, I love all the kids line, and this is one of our most used in the kids line. So get yourself some Tamer if you don't have it already.
Yeah, even if you don't have kids, it's awesome. Highly recommend. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening. We'll have a brand new episode for you next Friday.
Thanks for tuning in. For more information, you can follow these bottle poppin' ladies at bottlepoppinpodcast.com. Tune in next week to learn about what bottle we're poppin'. Until next time, take care. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.